A warm welcome to all. I am Mohammad Tariq from 10th C. Today we are going to talk about my favorite number. It is pi. Do you know what is pi? Okay, let me explain. Pi is the ratio of what? Pi is the ratio of the circumference of the circle to the diameter of the circle. Pi is very interesting number. Pi is expressed as c by d, which is equal to 3.14159265358 and so going on for so ever. Here I have written some digits of pi. Pi has no end. And you may see here 22/7. This is a great approximation of pi. This is not pi, but it is an approximation. Do you know two properties of pi? Irrational, transcendental. Irrational means that pi cannot be expressed in the form of p by q, where p and q are integers. So pi is not equal to p by q. And transcendental. Transcendental means pi cannot be the solution for the polynomial equation. Like polynomial equation of quadratic equation. Pi cannot be a solution for a polynomial equation. And do you know where did the word pi come from? Pi is a symbol. Pi is a letter of the Greek alphabet. Pi means it is a Greek alphabet. And when you convert and translate the word circumference or perimeter, they both start with the letter pi in Greek. So we used this letter pi. And do you know how we calculate pi? In the olden days, we calculated pi using polygon method, where we usually draw a circle of radius 0.5 half units. Okay, and when you insert this half unit in the formula of circumference of circle, we would get the circumference equal to pi. Circumference equals to pi, and we would calculate the circumference, which is equal to pi. How we calculate the circumference? We use by polygonal method. We draw a polygon inside the circle. The perimeter of this polygon will be lesser than the circumference, which is pi. And if we draw a polygon outside of the circle, it will be greater than the perimeter of the circle. So we will take the small perimeter as P1 and a larger perimeter as P2. We can write that P1 pi and P2. P1 is smaller than pi, so I will write lesser than, and P2 is greater than pi, and I will write like this. Where if we calculated to infinitely side polygon, we would get a great approximation of pi. Do you know Archimedes? He is a philosopher and mathematician. He calculated pi to 96 sides polygon. 96 side polygon he calculated. Do you know what was his approximation? It was 223/71 is lesser than pi, and pi is lesser than 22/7. It was his approximation. It was very great approximation, and we use it today also as an approximation of pi. And many several Indian and Chinese mathematicians also calculated pi using this polygonal method. But after the invention of calculus by Newton, the who founded gravity, he invented calculus. After the invention of calculus, it was very easy to calculate pi. There was many infinite series and large formulas like this one. We may see here we have a large formula. Do you know who invented this formula? It was our Indian mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan. He invented this large formula to calculate pi. This was very accurate. If you take the first term of this formula, it would give 6 digit of pi correctly. 6 decimal places of pi correctly. It was very approximate. Let me read it out. Reciprocal of pi equals to √8 divided by 9801 multiplied by the summation up to infinity of 4k the whole factorial multiplied by 1103 plus 26,390k whole multiple and divided by k factorial to the whole power 4 and multiplied by 369 to the power 4k. This is a great formula. And do you know how many digits of pi do we know? It is 100 trillion. 1 followed by 14 zeros. We know this much of decimal places of pi. Why do we need this much? You may ask. I will say we would just need 39 decimal places of pi to calculate in engineering and physics. If we use 39 decimal places only, we would get a very approximate value. There will be just a very small error of hydrogen atom. You know hydrogen atom, the first element of periodic table. It is very very small. There will be only error of an hydrogen atom. It is very very small. So we only calculate pi for our fun, and we test our supercomputers and large computers using calculating pi. It is very very interesting of pi. So we love pi, that's why we calculate it. And we use pi in many many places: calculus, trigonometry, physics, engineering, and many places of mathematics. So pi is very very important in our mathematics and life. Where is a arc, there is a pi. Where is a curve, there is a pi. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you to all.